Why you should always increase your rent. Stay tuned to this episode of Prime Properties TV. I promise you, it'll be worth it. Good day, Toronto. Welcome to another episode of Prime Properties TV. So glad you could join us here. I wanted to try something new in my weekly videos. I often talk about how the market is doing, strategy for acquiring properties, and general analysis of the real estate market. But I wanted to take some time to actually give everybody here, including you, pointers on how to be an investor landlord. We all know in real estate the money is in the buy, in the purchase, and that's what I'm great at and guiding all my clients, especially you, through it. But now I also want to give you some tips on how to be a good landlord for two main reasons. Number one, I find most people are afraid of being landlords and dealing with tenants because they think it's all about fixing toilets at 2 a.m. in the morning, which really stops them from actually being investors and building some serious side hustle money. Two, having these tips in your toolbox will make you more confident of an investor and give you a peace of mind knowing how to deal with these situations as they appear in your investing journey. So without ado, let's kick off this mini series with my tip number one. Always increase your rent when you can. This is a must. I often get a lot of pushback from clients on why they don't want to increase their rent when the renewal period comes along. The reason is usually like, why increase the rent? The tenants are so good. I want them to stay and not upset them. Which is a totally valid point. I'm a very empathetic person, so I understand. But let me tell you from first-hand experience that you should treat your investment property like a business. That may sound really cold, but here are some reasons why. Number one, your carrying costs each year increases. Your property taxes go up. If you have a condo, the maintenance fee may go up. Your insurance could go up. Not to mention the interest rate may have gone up as well. So if you don't increase your rent, who's responsible for these costs? That'll eat into your monthly cash flow. You actually should not be. So when the minimum wage went up, you saw all the businesses increase their prices. It's standard business practice. And if your investment property is a business, increase your rent. You need to have your margins. If you're afraid of negotiations of having this conversation with a tenant, you can say something along the lines of this via whatever communication you prefer. Dear tenant, as you know, your lease may be coming up shortly. Thank you for taking care of my property thus far. If you would like to continue staying at blank address, I unfortunately will have to increase the rent as my carrying costs have increased as well. Blah, 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 blah. Let me know within the next week. Done. Not that difficult. If you want to take it verbatim, go for it. I'll leave a text of it over here. If you're an empirical numbers person like me, here is how much money you are losing by not increasing your rent. Rent control this year is about 1.8%, and although 1.8% doesn't feel like it can add up to a lot, remember, you compound the rental increases each year. So here's a chart for you to see how much money you could be losing by not increasing your rents. In this example, I use a $2,000 rental rate. Basically a junior one bedroom in downtown Toronto now. Over the first year, if you don't increase the rent, you lose almost $2,000 the first year. Over the course of 5 years, when compounded, that's over $20,000. That's not a small amount. Secondly, if you have a vacancy, you should always increase your rent to market, if not over. I always recommend listing for over market rent in this current market because I've been doing it all summer long and I've had great results. The reason you want to increase your rent is that this is an opportunity for you to increase the rent above rent control. Do not rent it for the same amount as before because you're afraid of not filling it. The same reason as above, because of rent control, the higher your initial base rent, the better off you will be in the future because you can only increase it approximately 1.8% per year. Leaving it empty for 1 month and getting a much higher rent and a better tenant is going to pay off 100% in the future. I hope this helps you guys on your journey to building your real estate empire. Thank you guys for watching. If you learned something in this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. If you like the content on the channel, you can subscribe to Prime Properties TV. The channel button is right here. If you got comments or questions, you can leave them in the comment section below or feel free to reach me. My contacts are right here. Until next time, guys, happy real estating.